Hello everybody and welcome to the Red Hot Racing League Truck Series brought to you by Circle B Diecast. I'm getting my game booted up. Apparently it closed in the background, so that's unfortunate, but get to look through this beautiful loading screen here, but can't wait to get this action to you guys this evening. Truckers are going to be out here tonight. One more race. This is it. This is the cutoff to the Final Four at Las Vegas next week. Tentatively next week, but it could be possibly 2 weeks from now. There's a chance that a driver might not be able to make it next week if they do make the playoffs, and we will be postponing it if that does happen. If it doesn't, the race will be next week, as long as every playoff driver can make it. Now, that is the same thing with all three series, so things can get a little wonky here. We might have an off week next week, we might not. There's so many different things that can happen. But we'll can't wait to get down here and show you guys some of this truck race in action here from Homestead Miami. Race 15 out of 16, the cutoff race here tonight. Second to last race of season number 1 in the truck series. So it's going to be a banger, and it's going to be a really good race. Abyss, I don't know if you got the starting lineup, but let's give it a go. Let's see where these truck drivers are starting here tonight.
Yes, thank you, Gavin. Here we go, starting from the rear and working our way to the back. We have a confetti zap in the rear, right next to Haha Boog, Super NASCAR fan. Sorry, will be starting in the 13th position. Gamers will be starting 12th. Fungus will be starting 11th. Rise will be starting 10th. Material Zero will be starting 9th. Boomin is 8th. Track Bar is 7th. Fabico Gamer is 6th. Graham Cracker is 5th. Air Just Cause is 4th. Asylums is 3rd. Mr. Slyjob is 2nd. And Trippy Tricks, it will be starting on the pole. But ladies and gentlemen, the battle we are talking about today is in the points, and it's going to be an interesting one. We're going to talk about Fabico Gamer, Trippy, and Gamers. The point gap is so small. Fabico's only in by 2 points, Trippy's out by 2, and Gamers is out by 3. This is a battle for the finish, and right now Trippy will be starting on the pole, so he has the best option to get in. So that means Fabico and Gamers have to show up to make it to the Final Four, Gavin.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight battle all the way through to that Final Four, Abyss. And I don't think anybody's safe. I don't think Graham Cracker necessarily is safe as well. So, I mean, there is a lot of different things that can happen. So, we can't wait to see how this is going to unfold. So, I'm pretty excited to see what we got going on here tonight at Homestead. One of the better tracks in the game, and possibly, one of the best races we'll see all season long, with Homestead being the racetrack it is. Kevin, the fuel, definitely a game that is played, and so is tires, as well as keeping your car stable off of turn 2 and 4, because it can get pretty loose there, we've seen. Kevin, what's it looking like tonight, strategy-wise, from our K. Harvick fan, or our version of Larry Mack?
Yeah, no, so let's break this down. First of all, of course, we know this place, handling-wise, can be a bit of a handful, so tires is definitely going to be something that, or at least will be on the minds of these drivers to an extent. So what we're going to have to keep an eye on is not only the tires and the handling of these guys, but also the fuel, and it won't be so much an issue in the first couple of stages. It'll be more so an issue in the third stage, and we'll talk about that, when we get there, because a lot of that depends on the cautions that we get tonight, which I don't expect too many of. This place usually produces a lot of green flag racing anyway, and we have, this could either be a good thing or a bad thing. We have a little bit smaller field than what we've had most of the rest of the season, but at the same time, a lot of the playoff guys are here, including the guys that we need to be talking about. All those guys are here and ready to go. So we'll have to see what happens. Fuel mileage is on 16 laps. You get 16 laps on the tank. That'll be something to keep note of throughout the night. when we go around this 1.5-mile oval. I love this racetrack personally. It creates very unique racing. It's not one of your typical cookie cutter racetracks. And again, it's a handling racetrack. It's going to put the talent of these drivers to the test, and at the most crucial point in the season when everything is at stake.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to put these drivers' talents to the test. The 50 starting on pole. Green flag has been dropped now as the 50 will lead us down into turn number 1 here this evening. Trippy Tricks running a throwback, even though it's not Darlington. He's running a throwback to one of his former championship trucks that he's ran in other championship races. So Trippy Tricks
Gavin,
running that 50 blue and yellow car there. So we'll see how these drivers can handle. I know this track is very tough, especially late run on top 2 and 4, and it can get pretty loose, Abyss, and that's something these drivers are going to have to manage.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a throttle control to fix that problem. That's what I do to fix the problem, or just tighten the car up a little bit more. But right now, it's kind of just a chill moment right now. Just kind of figure out where your car is. Like we see Asylum's going into turn number 3, trying to take the position away from the 2, as he will clear him off of 2. But here comes Track Bar, the 24, trying to take the 3rd spot away from Mr. Slide Job here. So they're a little battling for second on back, but the question is, can anyone catch Trippy Tricks right now? Because he's currently chilling up front. No pressure right now, Kevin.
Well, indeed, he's got a nice gap. Of course, you got to keep in mind who's back there. The 24 truck of Track Bar. Now, we saw him. He was up front leading last week, fighting for the lead. He ended up losing the race. He had a little bit of contact on the last lap, but then subsequently, regardless of the contact or not, would have lost that race because he ran out of fuel coming back around to the start-finish line. That gave your current leader of Trippy his 2nd Truck Series win. He's trying to ride that momentum into here now. I tell you what, he's very good at this racetrack, always has been. The one thing, though, is, again, Track Bar's here for one thing and one thing only, and that's the wins. And he knows what's at stake here, especially for guys like Trippy, like Gamer, like Fabico, and of course the guys that are a little bit safer above the cut line coming in here. But those are the 3 guys we're focused on for points, considering they're only 3 points apart. When you take all that into perspective, I think that 24 truck of Track Bar, who is also extremely good at this racetrack, I would say this is arguably his best track. I know that's, pretty hard to say because he's so good everywhere, but I think that this is genuinely one of his best tracks, and you can see he is closing that gap down very fast. Gavin.
Yeah, the 24 looking to the inside here of the 50. Who's going to get the jump? The run is going to be on the high side, but the low side's built up some momentum here. They're going to be just about side by side. Track Bar trying to get some of that side draft. He's going to pull that 50 back just a little bit, and now looks low again. Looks to probably try to dive it in there. He will, and he will clear the 50, but can he hang on here? Looks like he taps the wall a little bit. That's going to slow him all up. 3 wide now. Almost for second there. The 6 is going to get up there in the second now. Our former race leader, the 50, now moving back into 3rd, and now he has found himself back in the pack with the 2 and the 97 right behind him. But right now, Mr. Track Bar out in front with the 6 of Asylums right on his tail, Abyss.
Yes, indeed. 5 to go in the stage. So this, sorry, 7. My apologies. I heard the wrong number out. I'm tired. I'm tired. Sorry. But right now, that's going to come into play when it comes off to these standings. Because right now, the more points you gain, the better off you are at the end of this race. And right now, the trucks that have the best standings that we're looking at right now is Fabico and Trippy. Only 1 car separates them. I'm not sure where Gamer is, but I don't think he's having a great race so far. So that's going to be interesting what he can do to close this gap up now. But Fabico's trying his best to get past, at least get to... Oh, okay, so if it goes like this, they'll be tied at the standing. Oh, but Fabico got a little in the wall with Mr. Slide Job there going into 3, Kevin.
And then again, look, a lot of these guys understand what all's at stake, however, at the same time, especially too with a little bit smaller field size, I think you might see some of these guys be a little bit more aggressive tonight, regardless of what's on the line here, at least in some cases tonight. I won't say that will be the case for everyone, but I think for some guys it definitely could be because they know, look, if something happens, you're not going to lose as much. And, you know, I won't say that's the best philosophy you can have, but it's definitely a philosophy that some of these drivers can carry in here. Look, a lot of these guys are playoff guys. A lot of these guys are going to be able to contend for the championship next week. They want some momentum. They want to prove. They want to prove the speed that they have. They want to give themselves a little bit of a confidence boost headed into Las Vegas next week. Again, I don't know what to expect out of this race. We've seen amazing side-by-side racing. We've seen a little bit of regression so far. You see the 50 and another side-by-side battle here. But regardless, what we have to pay attention to is how these bubble guys race one another and how they get raced. I think that's what's going to be the big picture we have to keep track of, as well as, you know, where they are in relation to one another and how they're moving around. Yeah.
Yeah, these cutoff guys are really, these bubble guys you say, are going to be really hand in hand battling and scraping and clawing for every spot they can get. Every point matters right here, especially when the gap is that close. You're going to have to do all you can to close that gap, and I've noticed a little bit of tension there between the 97 and the 2 as those two have been trading paint here for a couple laps now. They've been trading paint back and forth, and now they have some space in between them. But if you're the 50, you look back there and say, Track Bar, hold that 97 up for me a little bit, buddy. Try to help me out here. But we'll have to see if the 97 can make a move on that 24 and still hold on here, as the 50 running second right now looks to close this gap right here on the 6 of Asylums. Two guys that their bread and butter has been made on this racetrack and other leagues and various leagues, especially preset and custom setups. These guys really know their way around the Homestead Miami Speedway Oval, and they do one heck of a job showing everybody how it's done. This white flag.
Yes, indeed. If the Beakup watches, he's been one of the only people running that high side line in the top 10 right now, and he's kind of making it work. But he needs one lap. He needs to get past Track Bar to know out of stage 1 he is not tied with Trippy for pretty much the way into the playoffs the next round. But as it looks right now, Trippy trying to say, I want that extra point. He looks inside of Asylum. Will he make the move? I think Asylum has it. Trippy's going to come home second. Fabico's going to come home fourth.
And I will put it this way, and obviously we'll get the official math on this in a moment. Thank you to Drew, who is your Phoenix winner from a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it's probably been about 4 weeks now, but won Phoenix in the trucks a few weeks ago. He's been competing in the playoffs in the Cup Series and Xfinity. And he's taken the time out tonight to tally points up for us, sort of like we did early in the playoffs and also at Charlotte for the regular season finale. We'll have that for you all weekend. Starting tonight. Thank you to Drew for doing that. But I believe with the way that ended up compared to where Fabico was, I believe we're going to be tied up for the final spot, which makes this a little bit interesting.
Yeah, Gamer, I know, lost a lot of points there. Fabico and Trippier obviously tied. Gamer now 8 points out, so he's not out of this just yet. He just needs to find a way to make up these points here. And anything can happen. So we'll have to see, as the stage is definitely going to be another quick one. We'll see who can come out on top here. As the green flag waves, Asylums and Trippy Tricks, that front row going to lead you to it. Here, the 6, the blue oval inside of the 50 of Trippy, with Track Bar sitting in third. The bottom line gets moving very quickly. And Abyss, this is looking to be another great stage. 3 wide already for second, the 97 and the 50 and the 24. All 3 of them now, 3 wide back there. Everybody's spreading out Abyss.
Yes, indeed. Right now, everyone is in a kind of almost a calm state, but only 3 drivers are really looking when to push it all the way to the floor and just hope their truck is fast enough to get a good finish. That's really what we're looking at right now, as Asylum just continuously, as Track Bar slides up huge. He's had a little problems today. I'm not sure what's going on with Track Bar. Hopefully he can get that fixed out. We can see him in the front again, but right now he's kind of falling back. So right now we're just looking through the field. They're 3 wide in the middle of the field. If I'm not wrong, that's Gamer on the high side in the wall. That's
tough
not
break.
good for him.
That's not what he needed.
That's not. Opposite.
Trouble.
Was the wrecking.
No caution. We stay under the green.
Stay green.
And that's going to, it's probably going to spread these guys out a little bit now as we get into this run here. Obviously, you see these guys kind of more painting the bottom a little bit. Obviously, I think as this gets in, I think I've seen some guys seem to be a little bit better in the longer run based on what I saw stage 1 than the short run and vice versa. So I think you'll see that come into play here. But Gamer is struggling right now. He hasn't been bad here, but he's going to have to find something extra. He lost a ton of points after stage 1. He finished 9th in that first stage, while the guys he's competing with all finished in the top 5, or that he needs to be competing with. He has to get these back. He's about 8 points out. He's about 8 points out of the bubble. He's going to have to find a way to get that back. And again, you look to Fabiko and Trippy are still managing to run inside this top 5 and around it, while Gamer even hit the wall there. There's trouble in the back, Gavin.
Turn 4.
Yeah, huge collision there. That's going to hurt a lot of them, like Gamer, who picks up damage, and a lot of other guys back there. That's a problem with being in the back of the pack there. You end up getting caught up in the mess even though you didn't create it. And as that caution did occur, we'll have to see. I believe Trippy Tricks might have got that lead. I might be wrong. It looks like they were neck and neck there coming at it too. So really good battle up here for the lead. But it looks like Casey or Asylums is going to continue to hang on to this lead for now. And Trippy Tricks' truck seems to be getting into place, and right now, as they stand, I believe Fabiko Gamer is about 2 points behind now, so we'll have to see now if Trippy Tricks can extend now. He's got a point lead, and if he can win the stage, that just adds a little bit more cushion. But with their gap being so close, nobody is safe, especially in that bubble. But we're about to go green here again with, I believe, 5 laps to go. So Trippy Tricks gets a good pit crew RNG there, we'll say, as he's going to get the lead out of that and now be in the front with Silums on the high side and Fabiko also on the high side. Not what you want to see if you're Fabiko, because now you're going to get stuck behind even more cars. So Fabiko's going to have to find a way to make a move here, and we might see some desperation here as every point counts, Abyss. Every point matters here tonight.
Yes, indeed. So the question is, how long will Fabiko take to just sit around? He can't afford this right now. He's 2 points out. He needs to get forward and just start challenging Asylums and Track Bar and hopefully get to Trippy. But he's been a consistent top 5 truck all day long, so but he needs to find that extra speed to contend with these top 3 right now. That's going to be my look right now, but that's not my pick. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Oh, as Trippy loses the lead to Asylums, but here comes Track 4 going up the track with Trippy. Ooh, that almost put Trippy in the wall, as here comes Fabiko with 3 to go. This is going to be a battle for the ages. 2 guys trying to just drive and 2 racing for points, Kevin.
Keep in mind, these guys are tied. I do want to very quickly, while these guys are battling, huge battle, I do want to very quickly document the 2 and the 6. That's Mr. Slide Job and Asylums. All those guys had to do was start this race tonight to clinch themselves into the championship. Obviously, both have achieved that goal. They will be 2 of your final 4 racing for a championship next weekend in Homestead. And the Truck Series is trouble in the back. This will end the stage if it's a caution. Gavin?
Doesn't look like it's a caution, but right now the 6 and the 50 are the ones battling up front. The 24 looks to get loose off the corner there with the 97 shoving him down the backstretch. Fabiko can't continue to sit behind these guys and let them run in front of him. He's got to find a way to get around Track Bar here and try to keep this gap closed. Trippy Tricks falls back to second there, and here we go. The 6 car right there in front with the 50 looking low now into this corner. He's going to send it in there. Maybe, no, he doesn't. But the 24 definitely looking on the bottom there with that 50, and the 97 might be looking to send it 3 wide here now as he's behind Trippy Tricks. They're 2 wide now. The 24 moving to the high side here, and it looks like the 24 gets into the wall a little bit. They're going to slide each other. The 50 into the middle. Fabiko going to try to get underneath them. They're side by side. Out of 2. Track Bar loses it.
Oh,
it looks like, oh my goodness. Big wreck behind him. Track Bar got loose off a 4 there, and just looked like he couldn't hang on. He got really sideways there, and Trippy Trick's going to gain another point on Fabico, so that's going to extend his lead just a little bit. But like I said earlier, Abyss, you're never safe, especially at a track like this with all of the different factors you got to throw into this race now, with stage 3 being so unpredictable. Abyss, nobody is safe except for those guys who had to start to clinch. So we'll just have to see how these drivers play out and the strategy and stuff, because you can go from hero to zero in no time here at Homestead. Abyss?
Yes, indeed. So right now it's pretty much a battle between Trippy and Fabico. I think Graham is safe, if I'm not wrong on this. Okay, so it turns battle between Fabico and Trippy, but here we go back to green. It's going to be a silence and Trippy on the front row. Here they go to start stage 3, 35 to go in this race. It's going to be a saver. It's going to be interesting factor to happen. Here they go. Trippy is going to lose the second spot to Fabico for the first time tonight, and Fabico looks to the inside asylums. Here he comes. Here comes Fabico to the race lead into turn number 3. This will be the first lap he has led, I think, in the playoffs, if I'm not wrong, if he leads right here today. Coming off of turn 4, and there he goes. Kevin.
Now, I do want to document something. I want to keep this in the back of everyone's mind. Keep in mind that obviously we know everybody wants to win this race, but as far as the championship bubbles, these guys make a little bit of contact. Let's put this in the back of our minds, guys. First, the difference between first and second is 5 points. That could pay huge dividends to either Trippy or Fabico at the end of this race. We have to keep that in the back of our minds. Yes, it's only a 1 point difference, but if even one of these guys is in the lead over the other, it automatically breaks that record. Whether it be that Trippy is in the lead and extends that gap from 1 point to 6 points, or whether Fabico takes the lead over Trippy and extends that gap from being down 1 point to up +4. But the other thing we have to keep in mind, and there's a couple ways that this can happen. I mentioned earlier on, you heard Abyss mention it at the start of the stage. There is going to be some fuel mileage in this one, some strategy games. These guys aren't out of the ballpark yet. We had to throw something else at them, so this is what they get. They also have to try now to manage the fuel tank and try to maintain the gap to one another, try to hold the points over one another. That's a huge challenge. There's a couple of different ways you could try to save this. Now I mentioned it's a 35 lap stage, stage 3. We get 16 on the fuel tank. Now, a couple of ways that this could be done is you could go 19 laps on your first run and not have to save the rest of the race. The other thing you could do is you can try to cut it across both runs, and there's a couple of different ways that you could do it. You could either do the shorter version the first run and do longer second run, or vice versa, but you would have to go 18 laps on at least one of your runs and 17 on the other if you decided to spread it out across 2 runs. Which one will be a stronger strategy and a more quick strategy, I guess would be the way to put it? That's going to be hard to tell, because it's all going to depend on how quickly you can save fuel and how much time you lose while doing it. If you decide to spread it out over 2 runs, obviously you're not going to be able to go all the way, pedal to the metal the second run of this race. You're going to have to save a little bit, but the benefit of it is you're not going to have to save as much fuel on the first run. You can kind of get back up to speed a little bit faster during this first run. While as if you're saving all of it on just the first run, you're going to be running slower all the way around. It's going to take you longer, but on the back side of it, you're going to not have to save it all. And actually, the other thing too we had to keep an eye on is somebody could also reverse that strategy as well, go full on the first run and then save the second run, Gavin. So there's a whole lot of strategy options here as well, just to make things even more complicated for these drivers. Gavin?
Yeah, right now Fabico leading this race under attack from that 2. That 2's been very aggressive all night long. And these two have been trading paint, like I said, almost all race, and they find themselves 1-2 right beside each other. But Fabico right now is the man in the show for that final championship race. Big lag spike there from the 24. We didn't catch it on stream, but with Fabico being up front here, one thing I got to think is he saving or is he not? Because if he's not saving, it's going to be a really tough task for Fabico here to make his claim on that final spot. But right now the spot has been dwindled down between the 97 and the 50. We'll have to see if these two guys can make something of it, but if that 97 can save that fuel and possibly keep the spot that he's in and have a clean pit entry and exit, he's got to be perfect here on out. If that 97 can do it right now, I mean, he could find himself in the winner's circle and in the championship race, and what a night it would be for Fabico Gamer to capture that checkered flag and also capture his ticket to Las Vegas tentatively next week. I mean, what a way that would be for him. But Trippy Tricks, we're hearing, is looking good right now. He's feeling very confident with his fuel, and it's looking like he's going to be good on it. But we'll have to see. Only time will tell here at Homestead with the unpredictability of this track. There's only so much that can go your way, and so many things can go wrong. Especially, that's just the nature of racing. We'll have to see how these drivers' races can play out. Fabico, though, making that high line work as new leader, the 26 of Gamer now taking the lead. He's probably not saving fuel, I would presume, but he's up front right now. That 26 Luna Chevrolet running the show here, Kevin.
Indeed. Now, again, I do want to point out, and it is believed that with the amount of points that Trippy, Fabico, and of course Graham, who was kind of the other guy who was sitting pretty safe, he's lost a little bit to the cut, but he's still sitting pretty safe right now. He's going, actually, in fact, Graham is locked in, so yeah, okay, so 3 out of our 4 spots are now locked up after all the stages are complete. So of course, again, the final one is still up for grabs between 2 guys. It is believed that with the amount of points that has been gained over Gamer and that 26, who is your current leader, he cannot advance into the final 4, unfortunately. Obviously, he still wants to try to go out and do all he can. He probably isn't aware of that at the moment, but he's going to have to try to do that. The one thing that's going to be the question compared to Fabico as well is Fabico saving fuel? We know Chirpy is Fabico. That's going to be the tough question. But guys, I want to throw this out there, and we're gonna do this 2 ways, and I actually intend on doing this next week as well. Let's go to our Circle B Diecast ones to watch. We're going to throw out 2 of these things, and I'll have the chat chime in on this as well. Obviously, we had the normal one, which is who do we think is going to win the race? The other one, and somebody's going to have to double up on this one. Who do we think takes the final transfer spot into the final 4? And Gavin, I'll roll this one off with you and give both your answers.
That's a hard one to ask there. I think for both of them, I'm just going to double down on Trippy Tricks, looking to be the most confident on fuel right now. And like we've said, Fabico has led a lot of this stage, and right now he finds himself in the front of the pack with no draft. He's technically not first on track, but he's still not in draft, so he's still helping everyone behind him save fuel while possibly not being able to save enough himself. It's going to be pretty good with Trippy Tricks sitting in the middle of that pack. He's got the draft to help him. I think Trippy's going to be solid here on fuel. Goodness, I can't speak. I think Trippy's going to be solid on fuel and probably take this last transfer spot, being off a strategy there. And a little bit of speed. I mean, Trippy obviously fast at this track, so I think he's got this one taken care of if he can just manage his stuff right. So, Kevin, I'm going to throw it back to you. What is your thoughts here?
I think my pick here for the race win, he's really good at saving fuel, and I also have to throw in the fact is we have pit stops. We'll document that in a second, but he's really good at saving fuel, and it's been very clear he has a ton of speed. I'm going with Asylums to win the race. I think that 6 truck, I think he'll be able to get the fuel miles done, and I think he'll be able to save this, and he has the speed there clearly. I think Asylums won the race for the final transfer spot. Now this is a tough one. Again, 1 point separated these two guys heading into this final stage. It was just 1 point, Trippy having the advantage over Fabico. Fabico, as it runs at the moment, has broken that tie at the moment because he is out in the lead. Again, I talked about earlier, there is a 5-point gap between first and second. He has a 4-point gap over the cut right now, but I don't know how much fuel he's saving, and for that, again, that's a crucial part, and we still have a second part of this race, but I'm going to have to go with the 50 of Trippy. I think he's going to be able to punch his ticket at the end of the night with the way strategy is and speed in these trucks as well. I think Trippy will punch his ticket into the Final Four, and those are my Circle B diecast ones to watch. Abyss, what do you got?
Okay, I thought I was forgotten out here. I got a little scared there. But you see, I'm gonna go the opposite pick for my playoff guy. I know me and Trippy are friends, but I'm going to go with Fabico. This truck has been on point all race long as he shows his hand to pit this time. He has a truck, I think, that can win this if he can save the right amount of fuel. I think he has one of the fastest trucks here, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And again, it's really what comes down to it. So Fabico's my one to watch to make it into the Final Four. But the man that I think that's going to win the race is going to be this laggy, loose side of track bar here in the 24. He's just been all over the place today, but he's been consistently running the top 3, and I think he has the speed to get past everyone to get the race win, Kevin.
Absolutely, and actually I'm going to very quickly send it over to Gavin with the caveat that, Gavin, pit stops have begun, and again, there's a lot of gamesmanship going on now with what strategy you take, how much fuel you save, and what do you do in the second run?
Well, I think if you're Trippy Tricks here, you saved enough possibly to not have to save at all in that second run. So you honestly could run pretty hard, but you still got to manage. You still got to take a look. You got to take a look at your fuel gauge every now and then and make sure that you brush yourself up on that fuel and know what you have, because you don't want to run it out too early. But he's gonna have probably enough to run this stage out. Now, if you're a guy like Fabico, it's gonna be kind of tough. You're still gonna have to save some fuel. Those other guys went a couple laps longer than you did, so now you got to really focus on managing your stuff. And we don't even know how his tires are. We don't have any information on how his tires are, and that could also be a key factor on why he pit early as well. Not just fuel, but tires could be a factor here for this 97. But we'll have to see how that plays out for them both. It could go two different ways. Either strategy is the one to pick, but it's all going to come down to the driver and the execution and, of course, the speed at the end of the day between this 50 and the 97. That's really the battle we're watching here tonight. Abyss?
Yes, indeed, as pretty much the conversation is, where is Fabico going to come out compared to the leaders? Asylums will be the first one of that group off. Question is, where is Fabico? Gamers coming out of turn. He's coming into turn number 1 and 2. He'll pass them both with no, actually, wait. Yeah, he'll pass them both with no. Interesting. Right now, it's his race to win or lose right now. He is currently out in front. Gamers. So the question is, can Fabico has to go behind these two cars behind him and save? That's really the only thing he has, even though he's going to lose that love track position. He needs to save behind these two trucks to even have a chance at the win here in this late stage, Kevin.
Absolutely, and again, look, there's a lot to keep track of here. Of course, we have the actual race for the win. There's the points battle, and then, of course, within all of that, there's the different fuel games. Now, here's where all this comes into play. Obviously, we believe Trippy is good to go, full pedal to the metal all the way to the end. I don't exactly remember what lap Fabico pitted. I think it could be kind of borderline for him. Okay, so he's going to have to save at least a lap of fuel on this run, from what I can tell, if my math serves me right. So he's going to be down a little bit of speed. Now, he did obviously beat those guys out of the pits that he needed to. But Trippy is going to have to, or is going to be able to not have to save while Fabico is. That's already a disadvantage to that 97 truck in the points battle. This is going to be tough to keep track of. I do want to point out, in the event that this does happen, because right now the way things are going, it very well could. If this final spot ties, Trippy will have the tiebreaker. It goes off the best finish during the playoffs. Obviously, Trippy has a win in that time. I don't exactly know what Fabico's is, but I do know he does not have a win during the playoffs. Therefore, that would lose him the tiebreaker. So he has to be at least 1 point ahead of Trippy in order to make it into the Final Four. He cannot tie. If he ties, he does not make it. He has to keep that in the back of his mind. Meanwhile, this 50 truck is slowly but surely making his way back through traffic. Gavin?
Yeah, and speaking of traffic, the traffic he just passed was Fabico now, so make it +2 for that 50 on the points. He's going to have to claw to get those spots back, but it's going to be tough. Trippy has the better tires. He's good on fuel. He can push. Fabico, I don't think, can push just yet, and he's on a lap older tires, or 2 lap older tires, excuse me. So he's going to have to save 2 laps of fuel, and he's going to have 2 lap older tires, which you might not think is a lot, but especially on NASCAR heat, it's a lot. It's a lot to look at. Your tires are definitely going to start screaming for their life here soon. 10 laps left in this contest, and it's only going to come down to the wire between the 50 and the 97 for that transfer spot. But back up front to the lead right now, we got Track Bar up in front now, and Asylum's right behind him. So these two guys look to just be sitting in a line right now. They're kind of pulling away from Fabico and Trippy. The gap continued to extending. We'll have to see now. It's really the battle for third right now is what we're looking at, because Fabico has to make his way up to second, so something's going to have to go horribly wrong for these guys in front, or something horribly wrong for Trippy, which that's all Fabico's hoping for, but I don't know if he's going to get it tonight, Abyss.
Yes, indeed. That is the battle. These two guys, it's pretty much a battle inside of a battle right now. It's pretty much what both of them, one of Fabico's really hoping for is that maybe Asylums or Track Bar mess up and they lose a ton of time. That is the question of everyone's mind. Will that happen? Because he's been lagging, because Track Bar's been lagging and loose all race long, but remember, they're not in the lead yet. The man that's in front of these two guys are in the lead. Gamers in the lead, been leading the most laps he's had all season long. He will have to pit soon, so that they will give Track Bar the lead at them when he pits. But right now, it's gonna be interesting what happens. But Fabico and is not leaving Trippy alone and is saving right off of his bumper, Kevin.
Indeed, and I do want to talk about Gamer real quick. Again, obviously it is believed that he cannot make it, but hey, he doesn't know that right now, and he had to try something. The speed hasn't been there in that truck all night. He hasn't really been running around the guys that he needs to be running with. Why not try to throw a Hail Mary here? It's all for nothing, right? If you don't make this championship, what else do you have to lose? If you try this and you can make the championship, fine. If you try this and you get away with it and you get a win and still don't make the championship, hey, you did all you could and you still got a win. So, if we put that into perspective, I respect this out of Gamer. It may not work out for him, but he had to try it. This is the only thing he could do, and he's done a good job so far, but unfortunately, without a caution, I don't think it's going to work out for him. But Gavin, I believe we have a developing story. I heard
the 26
something.
now coming down to pit. We'll have to see. It looks like he's signaling down there. So he's going to surrender the lead down the track bar, but at least he's gotten some laps led under his belt there. Something that any driver could use is some laps led, and just to boost the confidence and to get some experience up in the front. Battle for the lead now, presumably the 24 and the 6, I believe, coming down to 5 laps remaining. That's what I was going to say. So I'm glad I'm being confirmed there by Trippy, our lap counter, and contender here for the final 4. The 24, though, looks to be good, as I've seen these two guys swap the lead every once in a while. They keep on swapping positions left and right. 24 and the 6 look to just continue to run away here until the end, and they might just battle it out on the last lap. And, you know, if I'm the 6 and 24 there... Oh,
Track Bar in the wall.
The wall.
Oh,
Track Bar Rex. Track Bar Rex. He's around.
That's going to be a points thing, too. Keep an eye on this, guys.
Wow. Wow, what a way. That could have just ended Fabico's hopes. We'll have to see now as Asylums is by himself all the way up there. What can these guys do? There is so many different things that can happen now. It's coming down to 4 laps to go in this race. First, Asylums, you see him coming out of 4 now. Second and third, Trippy Tricks and Fabico. The points gap is 1. right now it's 2 because Trippy's in front, but it looks like Fabico might have to try something here. He's going to look to the inside of that 50. Can he get that spot back? He's going to look. He's got the side draft out of the corner there, but Trippy's got the run. Can he do anything about it? The 50 and the 97 side by side. The only thing Fabico can hope for is some trouble to happen ahead of him, and there's so much that can happen in racing and so much that can happen at this track that it's possible. So we'll see here. These two guys got to battle hard, Kevin, but Fabico's got to look for the win.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, look, even if Trippy loses this spot, Trippy has to think big picture here. Obviously, if you can race, go for it, but don't put yourself in jeopardy because you're still safe if you lose this position. Now, if you lose more, it might be a different story. Trippy would have to lose 2 more positions in order for Fabico to take this spot. So either that has to happen in order for Fabico to make it, or as Trippy gets up in the wall, Fabico would have to take the lead from the 6, who has a very comfortable gap, and I see that being very hard to do. So even if Trippy's in this position right now, he's still safe. He's got a pretty comfortable gap to the guys behind him. He would have to lose 2 spots. Again, for Fabico to get into that final spot. I don't see that happening this late in the going, Abyss.
If I'm not wrong, they're either 1 to go or 2 to go. So here's the checkered flag. Asylum will see the checkered flag this time. Asylum wins at Homestead, and looks like Fabico having the best run of his career will run second as Trippy runs third, which will be the tie if I'm not wrong. So congratulations to Trippy Tricks to make the Final Four. If I'm not wrong.
Actually, hang on.
Wow.
It is tied.
What a great show. What a great show those two put on at the end, and I'm sure Fabico is going to be very disappointed if he does happen to lose that tiebreaker, putting in all that work and managing to have the speed to get second. But again, what a career run for Fabico there. Finishes second at Homestead, one of his better tracks, I feel like, because I can remember in preset leagues that I've ran with him in the past, he was very good here. Actually captured a win in that league a while ago, and Fabico nothing shy of being extremely talented here at Homestead. He went out here and showed that today. Finishes second. Trippy Tricks right behind him. Someone we consider to be one of the more grizzled vets at this track. Nothing but respect between these two guys here as they raced hard and raced clean there for the end. And what a battle it was. We'll have to see how the points go. It sounds like Trippy Tricks is going to be moving on to the championship at Las Vegas. So congratulations to Trippy Tricks on making it. And I believe everyone else was safe. Graham Cracker made it. Asylums and Slide Job made it. So that'll be your Final Four going into tentatively next week, but it might get moved, so we'll have to wait and see.
Indeed, and again, look, huge battle. Look, and Gavin, ironically enough, you've been in this situation before in a previous league. It's got to be heartbreaking, and we'll hear from him here shortly. We're going to get him in here for Circle B Diecast Post Race Show. Again, Fabico did almost the best he could. The only really other thing he could have done was go get the lead from Asylums, which, I mean, the amount of speed that the 6 truck had tonight was going to be a huge challenge. And to be honest, I think with what he had, I think he did absolutely the best with what he could. He got P2, he got the spot away from Trippy. Unfortunately, he got as close as you possibly can to making it without making it, and that is tying. And again, of course, we talked about earlier, he could not tie. He was going to lose the tiebreaker to Trippy based on the way we do the tiebreakers here. Again, the tiebreaker is whoever, or over the course of the playoff races that have been run, who has the better finish. Fabico comes up just one spot short in the running there. Trippy with the win last week. Fabico with a P2 this week, just one spot short of making that Final Four. Even in different races, he tied, and he still comes up one short with the tiebreakers. So, tough break. But we're going to hear from him. We're also going to hear from your race winner and your final seed of the Final Four, Trippy, coming up here in a moment.
Well, Kevin, I want to mention something here. I found myself in the same situation, and what I got at the championship race was some beautiful Mike Harmon races. I haven't let them go. I actually still have them with me.
Still waiting for that
gorgeous Mike
selfie.
Harmon stuff. It's pretty awesome stuff there, so we'll have to see how this playoff battle will continue to shape, as there is so much more racing left here in the series. I'm on the edge of my seat right now. I can't wait. These truck races have been extremely exciting all year round, or all season round, and it's been one heck of a show these guys put on for us every week.
Indeed, but of course, while we're waiting, we're still waiting on second place to get in here. Do want to put the first of all, I want to brag on myself a little bit. I actually won this week, at least because I picked Casey and I picked Vinny.
Yeah, you did.
I won.
Congratulations.
So we're gonna leave that there. But no, again, before we get to interviews, I want to remind you guys that tomorrow we get more of this action. There's a huge points battle going on in the Xfinity Series as well. They will take on Homestead tomorrow night for the final race, or second to last race of the playoffs, and we're going to get these guys. Oh, hold up. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Checking part notifications, but no, we're going to get these guys set up for their Final Four tomorrow as well. It's going to be fun. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a multi-groove racetrack. Again, you saw the great racing we had tonight. That'll only be amplified tomorrow night, so stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. All right. All right. Hold on. Yep.
All right. We are back here tonight. We got a little special round of interviews here in our winner circle, including some of our playoff drivers. Kevin is going to take it here first. Mr. Slidejob, a guy who Graham Cracker in the playoffs, finds himself making that transfer spot a third. Clinched his way in second stage. Kevin, you're there with him. Let's hear from Graham.
Indeed, Graham. First of all, you got a copy, man?
I got a copy.
Alright, cool. Man, I tell you what, obviously it's been a long road, a long season to get here. You come down tonight, obviously you felt pretty safe coming in here. You had a very comfortable gap over the cut line. I'll say this though, I think maybe for your expectations were this wasn't exactly the best race for you. So I'll ask first, from the race standpoint itself, obviously we know you're going to be racing for a championship at Las Vegas next weekend, or what right now is scheduled to be next weekend. So when you come into Homestead, obviously you lost some points. You still had enough to make it in. You leave here third seed out of four. Does it worry you at all? Maybe the mile and a half speed wasn't quite there tonight in that truck, and is there stuff you need to work on over the week to get yourself prepared for Las Vegas?
Um, Tonight I kind of decided that I didn't want to run in the front. I wanted to save myself from not getting wrecked and messing with the other guys who I know that are in deep trouble. Like you said, I was safe. I didn't have a fuel gear here tonight, so during that fuel saving run, I couldn't really fuel save, so I kind of like fell off from there. But like if this was a raw pace speed, I thought I had a top five car truck tonight. I almost said car. Whoops. I had speed. It's just I needed to be safe and smart tonight. It's gonna sacrifice my starting position probably next week. But I'm rather be safe than sorry. And Las Vegas gives me a lot of Chicagoland vibes, and I did pretty good there. Should have probably gotten top three. I'll probably use the Chicagoland setup to help me out a little bit. It's a little bumpier than Chicagoland, but it runs about the same. So yeah, the mile and a half speed hasn't been too hot in the truck series. I will be honest. The Xfinity series, when I was running in there part time for a little bit, it was pretty good. I mean, I won at Atlanta. I mean, it's been good. Just in the truck series, I haven't hit it yet. Yeah, it's kind of just disappointing. I knew I had to take the sacrifice and be slow today and just chill with everyone else in the mid pack, which I did. Finish mid pack every stage and then finish, which was good. And yeah, just limping into the championship race. Maybe we'll find some confidence in the week and maybe we'll get something done here on next Friday night.
Absolutely, man. Well, before I get to the specific Las Vegas talk, I gotta ask, from an entire season standpoint, again, a lot of work was put in. I know you had to go on a little bit of a grind early in the season. You had some really good runs, really fast trucks. Get into the playoffs, you've been really consistent. Almost won a couple of races. I think the one I can really remember was back at Phoenix. As a season overall, of course, we still have one race to go, and it's a really big one for you. But as a season overall, how's it felt for you? How's it been? How do you look at the season to this point as a whole, from your point of view?
Um, it's definitely an improvement from how I used to race and where I used to finish. I mean, you would know, and Gavin and everyone else here would know that. Yeah, I mean, at East Spark, I was barely even a playoff contender. I couldn't really get anywhere, and now I come here and I'm running in for the championship. And after I came back from my hiatus, I guess something clicked for me because lately, I mean, this season I've been so blessed with the opportunities I've had so far with running in this series and both Xfinity and trucks. I mean, I got a win in Xfinity. Trucks, I have been so close so many times. I've been there, right there. Just haven't quite gotten it yet. And yeah, it's been a success. I'll put it as a success. It depends on how next Friday goes. If I somehow manage to, out of all the marbles, just pull it off, I think this season will probably go down as probably one of the best underdogs because I'm going into this championship with a underdog mentality. Because if you look in the championship, I mean, you got Asylums, Pro League, Trippy, worldwide known as one of the best, and Slide Job. I mean, um, that said, driver. That's all I'll say. Wink, wink. So yeah.
Oh, I just thought of a question. I don't know if it's a good idea to ask, but before I get to that one, I gotta ask. Obviously, the big question: under the lights of Las Vegas, under the lights of Las Vegas, a multi-groove racetrack. You're going up, like you said, against three of the best. Next, when we go racing, it should be next weekend. How do you feel about your chances? I kind of agree with you. I think out of the four guys, I think you would probably be looked at as maybe the underdog going in there. But you've been very fast, very consistent all season. How do you feel about your chances to come home champion when this is all said and done?
Everything's great. Can't wait to see y'all next week.
Oh boy. All right. So
That is
then
the
I guess
most
since
basic
that was
answer
a
I've ever
short
heard.
answer, I'm gonna ask the big question. You and Slide Job had a little bit of trouble early on in the playoffs. Will that come into play at Las Vegas? Both of you were championship contenders.
Listen, I have no beef with the good guy. He's a good dude. He's a good rate. He's one of the best here. There's a reason why he's in the final four. I mean, I have no beef. To be honest, right now, I'm just doing it as a joke around. That said driver is the funniest thing ever, dog. Everything's great. Can't see that. But no, that said driver. No, I mean, I have no beef with him. He probably could still hate me, but at the end of the day, we still finished second and third at Phoenix. Say what you want, but it's in the past. I've done it as picking at jokes. I'm gonna keep the everything's great motto though, because I think that's kind of like it kind of suits me. I'm kind of a douche, so we'll keep it. So but no, other than that, I have no beef with the guy. He's a good dude. I mean, hey, I'm excited. I'm happy. I mean, I made the final four. I'm not gonna let a past beef from like 3 weeks ago at Phoenix determine how I feel about this guy. I'm gonna race him cleanly, just like how I'm gonna race Trippy in Asylums as clean as I can.
Well, absolutely, man. Obviously, I don't know if the maybe the people watching, maybe they like a little bit of drama, but I know from where I stand, I like to see that setting up for good, clean, hard racing. Any thank yous, shout outs, anything you'd like to give? It's been a monumental season for you. Still got one more step left to go. Any shout outs, thank yous though for you for getting up to this point.
Um, yeah, I've got a couple. Thank you to all the admins. Thank you to y'all for posting a good booth every week for Trucks and Xfinity. Shout out to Just Cause for doing the Cup Series, guys. Good booth as well. I mean, thank y'all to everyone who's gotten this league set up. I mean, I wouldn't be here without y'all. Shout out to the driver that shall not be named. Good dude. I mean, he brought the most entertainment to the series probably so far with our little run-in or a little squabble. So hey, shout out to you, dog. I love y'all, man. I love all of y'all. It's been such a ride this season. There's so many people to thank. Thank you to Burton for helping me a couple weeks with my setups for a couple of times. I know he remembers that. I'm gonna still pick at him about giving me that cup ride next year, make me eligible for it. And yeah, just man, what a season, guys! What a season.
Absolutely, man. Well, again, congratulations
Pops.
on making the championship. Good luck to you in Las Vegas. Hopefully, we will talk to you there. Like I said, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Indeed. Now, speaking of that driver that shall not be named, I'm going to name him. Mr. Slyjob will also be one of your championship contenders, and Dark Abyss is with him now.
Well, I guess I get the forbidden driver. So, Mr. Slyjob, you got a copy. And so, tell how did your race go today? You just had a drive today. Didn't really have to worry about winning the race or points. Just had to kind of cruise. Yeah, and I'll speak. I'll skip to Vegas. So
Slide
I
jobs.
think you have a great shot at Vegas
Slide
because
job.
you
Your
and
voice
your
isn't connected.
mid mile and a half program, there it is pretty good. I feel like it. So I think you might have a contender shot. What are your thoughts on the rest of your competition when it comes to them in the mile and a half? No. So I've just been talking to no one.
I'm Sly Job's new best friend. I'm Graham. I'm going to speak for him.
The
Jesus.
Okay, so Abyss, what was the question again?
I don't even know anymore.
Let's just move on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
There it is.
Slide Job said that he has a great setup for Vegas. He's got a knack for it, and that he came second to Lucky Dog and beat Track Bar with this setup, and he's gonna fine tune it so he can win the championship next week.
Do you see anyone as the biggest threat out of your three other drivers?
Slide Job said that he believes that the biggest threat for the championship is Asylums, but he put no disrespect to Graham or Trippy, and he expects it to. So yeah,
Do you speak to yourself in the third person?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, Sludge, I'm gonna let you go here and get ready for next week. Congratulations on having a fantastic season, and we'll see you next week, my friend. And as that, I will
He
throw it
shouted
over.
out the admins and
Oh, yeah,
for everyone
right.
holding a great season to make the series work.
I forgot you had to speak for him for a minute there. As we'll throw it over to Gavin with.
Trippy, I'm here with you tonight. You had a really good run building up that momentum here towards the championship, and we can call you playoff Trippy because it's looking like you've cranked it up here a little bit, and towards the end of the season you managed to get a bunch of podiums leading up to this point and a win in the playoffs. You're definitely looking to ride that momentum, but how is that going to help you here at Las Vegas, especially in the trucks? How do you plan to tackle that course?
Well, you know, making the final four tonight by Saybreaker it just all fell into my hands. We got good stages tonight, and we won Kansas. And with Gamer Miss and Watkins Glen, we were able to fall into play for this race. So I think we have a ton of momentum. We had a great truck for the sandy shores of Homestead Miami, and I'm just happy that we got to do what we got to do tonight, get another podium, be here tonight, and next week, me and the crew, Chica Monday and JP, are getting the truck ready. And last time we raced there, I had a heater there. I had some setup help with it, and we ran hard. So not really the biggest fan of Las Vegas, but we could hopefully get something done for that race there. I mean, we're not terrible, but I'm not a big fan of it. But we have a good setup. But we're looking to have a very good championship run.
Yeah, and one more question before I do Kevin's usual, the shout-outs. But, you look here at the drivers around you that have made the Final Four. Which one do you think is going to give you the most trouble trying to chase that championship trophy?
Oh, I don't mean to lay the stinger down on anybody, but I think Casey's going to be the hardest threat. I've been racing with him for 2.5 to 3 years now. We've become great friends. We've learned off each other and gotten better off of each other. This is definitely one of Casey's best tracks, to be honest. He's very, very solid here. Always very fast, and I think throughout the regular season and the playoffs, besides Phoenix, as I missed, I think I've outrun Slide Job and Graham, and picked up more wins. So nothing to get cocky over, but I've outrun them all season. The only person that has really beaten me up this season was Casey. So I think he's going to be the main problem there, and the other problem is if they stick JB in my engine and not a Silverado engine in there.
Yeah, you definitely don't want a cat to be in your engine, but
I don't want a cat to get
one
stuck in the
last
box.
thing, and it's free, doo-doo-doo. But any quick little shout outs
This
here
is not
tonight.
good,
I
but
think
it's
I have
great.
a few ideas of who you're gonna shout out, but let's go ahead and hear it. Who's on your mind right now going into this final game?
I like to shout out to Booth, especially Kevin. You know, Kevin had a UFC 4 McGregor versus Poirier fight with a bat, and basically how it went down was he came flying in.
Not
Kevin's like,
exactly what
"Hey,
happened.
Hey, what flew into my freaking house, dude?" And the bat's making all these noises. And he's like, it bit me, ah. So thankfully he was here tonight to talk, and I got to hear his lovely voice once again. Shout out to Fabico especially. That was probably the hardest battles that the guy fought for in a championship in any series in any league. You know, those last couple laps, I know he put me in the wall for the position, but I mean, with it being tied and me getting a win, he's got to race hard and give it everything he got and try a different strategy than me. So he did amazing for what he can do, and he's progressed a lot since Canadian Tire. I remember Canadian Tire. He was towards the front a lot, and then he'd get wrecked. Especially in East Park Canadian Tire, he would wreck and he would have got 10th. But it's great to see all the progression he's made and gotten better as a driver. And the fans love him. He's a fan favorite every week, and I'm just happy that we got to race hard for it, and I'm happy I got to take it. I like to shout out Jacob and JB. They're helping me out these past couple weeks, giving me that JB energy, give me the Clean X fuel. So they've been hooking me up. Shout out to all the admins. Shout out to Toasted. And thing is, I already bought a certain someone tickets to the front row of the next race, so she's gonna enjoy that, and hopefully we can bring home a massive trophy, so I could have a surprise like Joseph Lombard did for Haley Deegan.
Well, hopefully Jacob can get that truck back up to Detroit and in the Motor City and get you a good engine, and JB will be right there by his side the whole time. Shout out to Jacob, one of our good buddies. But that's Trippy Tricks coming home third, riding his momentum into Las Vegas. We'll see if he can take down the big man known as Casey. But heading to our next Abyss, you're going to interview our next guy. It's been so long I forgot who we were supposed to do next. I believe it's Fabico.
Fabico.
Abyss?
Well, I'll take it over, Mr. Fabico. You got a copy, my friend.
Why wouldn't I?
Man, first of all, I gotta congratulate you and all your hard work this season, my man. You worked so hard this race. You battled inside. I don't think you left the top 5 much today, besides that one time you had to pit. But really, besides that, you didn't leave the top 5 at all. So you brought the truck that you needed to have a great race, and you did, but it wasn't enough. What could you have done better there to maybe get yourself the win and get yourself into the Final Four?
No clue. Maybe the first stint in stage 3 could have saved fuel better and not had to save a little bit of fuel when I left the pits just so it could make it. And that harmed me the chance of getting the win. But other than that, yeah, there was not much I could do. We had a fast truck today, and we tried the best.
Well, at least you didn't. I guess I don't know if it's worse if you lost it by a tie or not. I would say that feels tiebreaker. I mean, you lost by a tiebreaker, so I don't know if that hurts. Or I don't know if it hurts worse or less. But but
For me,
again, you worked.
doesn't.
I mean, at least you finished second, and I would say in your in this race. I would say that's a good accomplishment. Do you have anything to say to Trippy when you at your hard fought battle there at the end?
Yeah, just sorry for putting him in the wall there. That's all.
Just
So
don't
they got hype.
apologize, dude. Don't apologize. I want to hear that bull
Yep.
crap.
That
You're
bull.
racing hard. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. And yeah, it was a really hard fought battle that I came out on top, and I'm proud of it.
And we are all proud of you. Again, congratulations on making it this far, and again, getting. I think this is your first top 3 finish, if I'm not wrong.
Actually,
Second?
not.
He got a top 3 Daytona.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't here for Daytona. That explains it. But yeah,
The
well,
second
again,
time I finished
congratulations.
second.
So it's been a minute since you've been here, so I gotta say welcome back. And is there anything that you can do for next season to maybe get yourself into the Final Four?
Well, for me, since it's truck championships are out of the question now, next season I'm going for the Xfinity Championship.
Oh, I like that. I like the call. I like that, my friend.
I
Again,
have proven enough that I have the speed needed to go to the next step, and that's what I will be taking.
well, I can't wait to see you there, and I hope to see you get a race win and lead some laps in the Xfinity Series. I have the best hopes for you, my friend. You
Hopefully, I
pretty
race
much blew.
Xfinity tomorrow.
You do? Oh, okay, sweet. I'll get to see you
Yeah,
then.
I'm trying
Hopefully,
to
you
do
get to lead
triple
some more
duty.
laps. But man, congratulations! And I don't think anyone else has any questions for you. So, do you have any one to thank for your top 2 finish today, my friend?
I have to thank Tim, or mostly known as Word Button, and because he gave me the setup needed to do a fast setup, and also the admins for this incredible league too.
Well, thank you, Fabico, and we'll see you at I believe Las Vegas, and just have some fun, man. Hopefully, we get to see you maybe steal the win next race, my friend.
See you next week.
As Harvick, you have the race. Actually, yeah, the race winner of Asylums.
Indeed, I have finally climbed the mountain of rocks and ketchup bottles to get here, but it was a long climb. Good thing we had a few more guys. No, I'm kidding. First of all, before we get there, again, congrats to Fabico, and obviously he put up a heck of a fight. He's shown huge improvements as a driver this season, and that's awesome to see. Me and Gavin have documented it several times throughout the course of the season. It's really cool to see. He came up, again, as close as he could without actually making it. So congratulations. He fought very, very hard as well as he could, and he took it like a champ. There, obviously coming up so close that that could hurt, but he took it, and I think it probably boosted his confidence. But I just wanted to shout him out for that as well as the other guys. But now we get to the man that apparently, Casey, everybody seems to be just a little bit scared of you. I think would be the best way to put it. First of all, you got a copy, man.
Yeah, I'm here. That is A-okay. Relish work.
Okay, unfortunately, your victory lane hot dog is going to be down a bit, but hey, it's all good. But no, in all seriousness, man, obviously, first of all, I'm just going to apologize up front. I don't know that you got maybe the TV time you deserved tonight just because there was such a huge points battle going on, but you got enough. You got a good amount, and it was a really, really good race for you in a playoffs that, while has been consistent for you, it's also been a little bit spotty, mostly with luck and things, especially earlier on. It just seemed like whatever bad luck there was, it found you early on in these things, and I think it probably got to a point where you kind of were wondering when it was going to end. Well, it seems to have ended here tonight. Extremely fast truck coming in here tonight. Again, this is one of your better tracks anyways, but an extremely fast truck you come into Homestead with. You walk out of here with a win. You make me win the picking that we do. So thank you for that as well. These guys can shut up once again, but but I mean, you had an amazing truck. So I guess we'll start with the race first. I mean, how was the truck? Obviously, you broke the bad luck streak coming in here. You fought it out with track bar a lot of the night. How was the truck? How was your
Well,
race?
going into these races, I know my truck's going to be good, because, some of them, a lot of them are, reused setups and everything, which I know have been good. The truck was going to be good. The problem is, like you said, my luck. My luck has been disastrous, to say the least. I felt like this whole playoffs, just nothing went my way. We had that one win at Charlotte. I think that was right before the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I knew the truck was going to be good. It was just finally a full race put together for me. Once the stages went good for me, I'm like, well, maybe my luck's finally turned around today.
Absolutely, man. And I got to ask as well. Obviously, stepping more away from Homestead in itself, and I guess we'll go to Vegas now. Looking forward. You're in the championship. All you had to do was start the race tonight, and you were locked in. Knowing that, obviously, a little bit less pressure on you during the race in itself. Of course, you walk out of here with the best result you can. That's got to give you a momentum boost, and especially knowing the luck that you've had, being able to break that, here tonight, rolling into another mile and a half for the championship under the lights at Vegas, a multi-groove racetrack, one of the best in the game, in my opinion, at least as far as racing product goes. It often tends to be a track where a lot of guys have a chance. And again, you're competing against three other guys. They all seem to be a bit concerned with, I think, more with you than the other three of their competitors. I mean, what is your take on that? And who are you watching to be your biggest competitors out of the championship for when we head into Vegas?
Oh, I don't know what they're worried about, man. We saw the playoffs I had. It wasn't great. Tonight I just had to prove I was still, relevant. I'm kind of flattered that they think I'm still their biggest competition, even after having a rough patch of four? I think it was 4 races in a row or so.
Something like
But yeah.
that.
And honestly, I really don't know who my biggest competitor would be, because they're all fast in their own ways, One of them has a great race one time, the next one, somebody different has the better truck, Those guys are really close on speed, so it's going to be hard to tell who my biggest competitor is. But I honestly think my biggest competitor is going to be my luck.
I think that's a good answer there. It really is. Obviously, we'll find out or not whether you have fully broken that, because obviously you'll be looking to lock yourself into the Cup Series Final Four on Sunday as well. But we'll talk more about that later in the weekend. But as far as the Truck Series goes, it's been a long season. Again, you've been an admin of the series, been one of the pioneers behind the scenes as well as an admin, along with quite a few others. And obviously, you've seen the entire series grow. From not only from the truck series but overall, but more focusing on trucks. I mean, how do you look at the season, up to this point as a whole? Obviously, again, we got one more step to go still, and it's a pretty big one for you and for the league itself. But from your standpoint, both as a driver in the series and as an admin, how do you see the season up to this point? I also got to ask, how do you feel about your chances in Vegas to come out as champion?
Oh, well, first, when it comes to, the series as a whole, I'm happy with everybody that's shown up. We've had about 45 drivers at least show their face once in this truck series, You race when you can. If you can't race, you can't race. But, I thank everybody that has shown up, at least contributed to this, I've seen lots of guys develop as drivers, blossom. A lot of these guys are ready to move up to Xfinity. So I think some of them are going to have to, be down here next season. I guess the Xfinity draft will tell. But yeah, as a series, these guys really impressed me this season, It was very clean for the most part, Sometimes you have your hiccups here and there, but that's racing, that happens. But yeah, my chance of going into Vegas there, I like that truck. I like that track a lot. And I know we'll have speed there. Like I said, it's just going to be if we can roll the right dice and get some luck.
Well, I'd say, there's no better place to test your luck than Vegas. So I guess we'll have to see how that turns out for you. I don't know that it's maybe fitting that the championship is in Vegas based on the way your playoffs have gone or not, but it's kind of ironic at least. So again, we wish you the best of luck there, and of course you'll be trying to lock yourself into the Cup Series Final Four come Sunday. They will be at Homestead as well. But of course, you pick up the win tonight. You furthermore, I guess establish yourself as a favorite. Maybe you don't see it as much that way as maybe some of your competitors seem to, but I mean, you are a favorite. I think you have 3 or 4 wins on the season after this one, so it's been a great season for you. Luck maybe not been there the entire way for you through the playoffs, but regardless, you win the race. You furthermore, again, establish yourself as a favorite heading in to Vegas to win that championship. Do you have any shout outs, thank yous, anything of that sort you'd like to give, throughout not only for this race tonight, but, getting this far into the season and where you are now?
Yeah, like I said, shout out to everybody that's shown up for, at least one race in Truck Series, I can't be a series admin if I don't have drivers to, I guess you could say boss around. That's probably not the greatest word for it, but control, whatever you want to say, lead.
There you go.
Of course, shout out to you guys for broadcasting all 15 weeks of this so far. God, it's been 15 weeks. Jesus. Anyways, that's a few months. But of course, shout out to all the other admins that helped me. And of course, shout out to every admin. Really, everybody works hard to keep going here. Make sure everything runs smoothly around inside and out of this place. I got to shout out to Vincent. He was racing me clean stage 1 and 2. I didn't know what he had up his sleeve for the stages because I know he wanted points, man. But I also shout out to Track Bar. He had an ill-handling truck near the end there, and he's probably said he was gonna end up wrecking it. Sadly, he did, and he put himself back in the wall before killing me. So I really appreciate that, and it's always fun battling him. And gotta shout out to Jacob and his good old cat Sassy Girl. Big supporter of myself. Benny already shouted out to JB, so I don't have to do that one again. Shout out to Sassy Girl. Whatever kitty food you or cat food you may be eating right now. Hope it's good. That's all I really got.
First of all, I can say is you better send him a bottle of ketchup at least. If he sees it, he's not going to be thrilled. But hey, it's all in good fun. But no, in all seriousness, again, congratulations on getting that win. That's a big win heading into the championship. Congratulations on locking yourself into the championship early and having that chance. And also, good luck on Sunday as you try to accomplish the same goal that you did tonight, which is win and make your way into that Final Four there as well. Congratulations. It's been a big season. You've been a big part of everything that's gone on behind the scenes here and making things run smooth, particularly, I can't English right now, with this series. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you for that. But again, congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Well, I have rambled on for a while, so I'm going to do my post-race thoughts quickly so that y'all don't have to hear me talk too much more. But first of all, thank you to all the drivers. Again, a little bit smaller field than what we're used to, but hey, that happens sometimes, and we're okay with that. We've had excellent field sizes all season for the trucks, and I couldn't be more thankful for all that. It's been a great season to this point. We had an amazing race tonight, amazing battles, huge points battles, big battle for the win, a few things that we didn't expect to happen, and a lot of strategy towards the end of the race. You can't ask for a much better race. So, first of all, thank you to all the drivers and my fellow admins who make all that happen. And, of course, thank you to you guys who tune in every week to watch these things. It really is fun to call these. It's even more fun, though, when there are people that want to watch these and watch these drivers race. I know it means a lot to the drivers and my fellow admins as well as me. And of course, Abyss and Gavin, who also, do broadcasts with me, obviously, or we all do them together, but I know it means a lot to them, too. And, of course, again, got to shout out Circle B Diecast. They're a great partner of ours. And I mean, like I said, go support those guys. They've done a lot. for us, and again as well, they they do quite a bit for y'all too. Look, that free shipping, it does it does make a difference. That cost adds up when you try to add some diecast to your collection in bulk, or maybe some other things that they have. But go check them out, circlebdiecast.com. Add on to that collection of whether it be diecast or maybe some other racing memorabilia that they have. Go check it out. They got a lot of cool stuff on there. When you do, if you make a purchase of $20 or more and you live in the United States, use code RHRL at checkout, and you get free shipping to your house. Use that, utilize that. They give that to you guys, and it's a way that we can support them, and it's also it saves y'all a little bit as well. So go check that out, and again, thank you to them. They've been an amazing partner of ours all season, and it's been a great season so far. We're not done racing on the weekend yet, though, and I can't wait to see what these other two races hold in store for us. It's going to be fun tomorrow night and Sunday. So, with that being said, I'm going to send it off to Gavin and Abyss to close this thing out because I know y'all are tired of hearing me talk for the day.
Yeah, Abyss, any last thoughts here before we wrap this up? This is taking a long time compared to what we're used to. Abyss might have went to sleep. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here for tonight. K. Harvick fan, Abyss, we've really had a fun time broadcasting all these series. Now, I haven't been able to broadcast Cup, but Truck and Xfinity has definitely been a blast for me, and I know these two guys have really had fun as well. And we thank everyone that gives us our support and supports the league, the channel, everybody out here that just makes this possible. We can't be thankful enough for all the help we're given and all the cool little things we have managed to have this season, and we can't wait for the season to come, and can't wait for the races tentatively next weekend, probably going to be the weekend after. So I'm really excited for those. Hopefully I'll be able to make them. But until then, for K. Harvick fan and Dark showing up, be sure to watch the streams tomorrow and have it a fantastic night. We'll catch you guys around. Peace.